Hello everyone, this is Ledger Forever and I am back for another ranking. Two rankings in a day, one for top 5 animated movies. This one, I am ranking all 4 Madagascar films, including the Penguins of Madagascar spin-off. So, this is going to be from worst to best. I got the idea from Film Kid who did this. Shout out to him, by the way. I will have the link in the description below if I remember. Hopefully I will. Don't worry, I'll try my hardest to remember. With that, all that said, let's get into it. Let me just say we're going to disagree because because the Rotten Tomatoes actually, I think, awarded this one its highest of all the movies on this list. This one has the highest Rotten Tomato percentage, but is one that I pretty much just cannot stand. So coming into last place for me, without question, is Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. Now, as a kid, I really did not like this movie. Now, I just cannot stand it. The characters are not that very good. I do find that there's some funny things in here, like Marty being like da 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 Afro circus.
Da 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 circus da 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 Afro circus Afro polka dot Afro.
That always made me crack up. I will admit that. And overall, it had some good moments. Like "Baby You're a Firework" is one of my favorite songs. Having in there is good, but just there are some things that hold it back from even being competent. Like the fact is, King Julian is, as usual in these movies, is nuts and annoying. I just cannot stand him. And the love thing they do with the bear is, I always thought that was weird and bizarre as a kid. Now it is nothing short of, like, I mean, what is that? Are you seriously saying that a bear would actually be in love with a lemur? That might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. It is weird and just overall a very incompetent film. Now, before I continue, let me just say there's a big leap in quality from number 4 to number 3. Now, this one was like a 3 out of 10 for me. The next one is, I think, a 5 out of 10. And I now enjoy these movies and I will give them a pass if I had a chance to. So, this one I would definitely say nope is not for me and would say is bad. But the other ones I will now say are good ones. In third place, Madagascar 2, Escape Africa. And this one I think was always in my 3. I think this one I was not always the biggest fan of this one. I know this one does have its fans. The Rotten Tomatoes awarded it in like the 60s, I think. The original has it has the lowest Rotten Tomato percentage by far, and just this one, it just always seemed to be kind of weird to me. There were always I just always really enjoyed the movie. I just enjoyed the other two that I'm about to talk about more. And don't get me wrong, there's some good things in here. Like, I think none of the characters are annoying. Like, the three, almost all the characters were just so annoying. Especially King Julian and Marty, even though he did have his, like, Afro circus bit. But in this one, and the penguins are really funny in this one. They're always funny in their movies, but this one they're like hilarious. They have some really good moments in here, and it's a fun film. I would label this under fun but flawed. It's not the greatest, but it is competent. Our runner up, Penguins of Madagascar, the spin off film. This one always used to be my favorite. I just thought it was hilarious, and it's really funny as being like this heist film and slash spy film. And I'm a sucker for those types of films, so that's one of the reasons I just really loved it. I just always kind of found that Private was, I didn't really hate him, but I just didn't think he deserved to be in the spotlight. I just always like Skipper. Skipper and Kowalski were always like my two favorites. They were just the best and the scene stealers. And Rico here is also funny. Just so you know, Rico is the one on the far right. Kowalski is the one on the other. He's the tall. Okay, I'll just make this easy. Rico's the one on the far right. Kowalski's the one on the. Well, he's the tall one. Skipper is the one next to Kowalski, and Private's just a little tiny guy. And it just kind of gives us some origins to these things that I do admit there are some problems I have with it. Like, I didn't really think we needed to know where Private came from. Like, it was always just kind of a mystery, which was kind of fun. But, I mean, I don't, like, absolutely hate it because of that. It's just, not as good. And what are they? The North Wind, I was not always a big fan of. Like, you could have cut them out from the movie entirely, and it probably would have gotten even higher because I just never liked many of them. They were just pretty annoying, and the thing that Kowalski has a crush on, the owl, I just always found was weird when I was a kid. I just thought was like they're not a very good match for each other. So that's something I didn't really enjoy. But other than that, it's a pretty fun film, and I know there are some people that have it as like their favorite, and it's a really good film. But combined with the fact that it's a spin-off film, so I don't know if I should really award it higher than something else. But it's a really fun movie. Don't get me wrong. But coming in first place is the original Madagascar. One of my favorite DreamWorks films. It's in my top 10. This is going to get me so much hate. I will be getting hate letters for this. I enjoy this more than Shrek, Shrek 2, the entire Shrek franchise, except for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I enjoy the second one more than I enjoy any of the Shrek films. I enjoy Penguins of Madagascar more than I enjoy any of the Shrek films, except for Puss in Boots and The Last Wish. But just so you know, I think Shrek is overrated. So hate me in the comments below. I'm standing by that, and you kind of have to see that there's some boring stuff in there. But anyway, Madagascar, there are some faults. Like, the characters can be very annoying. King Julian is unbearable half of the time, but it's just really funny, and there's some really good comedy moments, including the fact that this film was smart enough to do something in such a way they were able to slip in a swear word inside the movie without anyone noticing until like much later. Where I'll show you the clip where Alex is running towards what is his name, Marty, and then he turns around trying to get away from him, and he says,
"Oh, sugar honey iced tea."
and that part is really funny because you take the first letter from each of the words he says. Just think about it for a second, and you will realize what he said. And the fact is, they were smart enough to actually be able to conceal it in such a way that most people didn't even notice. So it's really funny, and there's just some moments that I just really enjoy in this movie. And there are some ways it hasn't aged well, but overall, a pretty fun movie. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to, but if you don't want to, that's completely fine. And I'll see you all in my next video. Have a good one.